Jimmy, look, I just want to pick up on what Amorim was saying there, because obviously he got public backing from Ratcliffe, and since then it feels like he's, you know, really kind of been able to relax in the job. And perhaps before then he was under so much scrutiny that he couldn't quite, you know, settle in. Give us a little bit of insight in terms of that, you know, you've managed the owner-manager relationship, and how important is it to get the backing?
The owner-manager relationship is the most important relationship in the club for the manager. But when an owner comes out and says he backs the manager, that is where the manager needs to start worrying. No, majority of the time.
Yeah, I hear you.
Look, he's gone to Liverpool, great match, great result. Yeah, showed really a lot of resilience in the game. Then what he has done against Brighton, he's backed it up and calmed the ship down a little bit. Let's not forget, let's not get carried away. They're still far of where they should be, really far. But if he keeps on winning the matches that he needs to keep on winning, they're not going to be champions. Yeah? If he is there and thereabout in the top 4, he's done a really good season. A really good season. If he wins the matches that we all expect that he should win, then he buys himself time, and then he will be next year here. But he can't lose against teams like Brighton at home, Everton away, Everton at home. Those kind of matches he needs to win, with all the respect to those teams. And then he will buy himself time, and then he can relax a little bit, and then next year he can get some more players in that he wants, that fits in his system, and then keep on growing. But I wouldn't put too much on the owners giving him backing. It's all about results. It's all about results. If he doesn't win his games, that message will change.
A lot more, I think, before I reverse ferret on that particular view. But look, it's 3 wins in a row. They're going well. I think the main thing is actually, even aside from the results, it's the positive signs on the pitch. We know what he's about, and we also know his limitations with this sort of absolute commitment to the dogma of his system. You know, he's not for turning. So look, we make peace with that, and you watch it unfold. Now, what I saw yesterday, I think possibly the main things, aside from them actually winning a 3rd game in a row, you got guys like Cunha, guys like Mbemo, guys like Bruno tracking back, putting in a shift. You've actually now, for a lot of his reign, I've watched it wondering how much of these players actually buying into what he's telling them. I've not seen. I wouldn't ever say it's been a team that's really screamed of commitment to me. What I was watching yesterday and during this run, which we should remind ourselves is 3 games, so perhaps sort of hiring the open top bus is premature. But when we're watching that yesterday, you're seeing that it's very positive. They've obviously shown a few vulnerabilities towards the end. They sort of allowed that door to be opened again. But with United, we've got to be talking about baby steps, because they've got to start showing the signs of that progress. We are seeing it now. I still think the single biggest aspect in this is the blessing in disguise of not.
Manchester United have plunged into fresh turmoil after the club officially announced the sacking of manager Ruben Amorim, following an embarrassing 1-0 defeat to 10-man Everton at Old Trafford, a result many fans are calling one of the club's darkest home performances in years. The shock decision comes less than 24 hours after a match that exposed deep fractures within the squad and intensified concerns over the team's direction under Amorim. Despite having a numerical advantage for a significant portion of the game, United looked devoid of structure, intensity, and confidence, leaving thousands inside the stadium stunned and furious. The loss to Everton wasn't just a poor result, it was a symbol of everything that has gone wrong this season. United's lack of creativity, questionable tactical approach, and inability to dominate even with an extra man pushed frustration at board level to breaking point. Insiders suggest the decision to sack Amorim was accelerated by the manner of the defeat, with senior figures believing the team had shown no signs of progress, identity, or control. The defeat, according to club sources, was labeled unacceptable and alarming. Supporters made their feelings clear immediately after the final whistle. Boos echoed around Old Trafford as the players walked off, with many fans questioning the mentality and discipline of the squad. Behind the scenes, reports of tactical confusion, inconsistent training methods, and diminishing trust between players and coaching staff had been building for weeks. United's performances have fluctuated wildly, at times promising, but frequently chaotic and disjointed. United's campaign has been marred by inconsistency, early cup exits, defensive instability, and a worrying inability to control games. Under Amorim, the club struggled to find rhythm, identity, or competitive edge. His high-press philosophy never fully took shape, and the squad looked increasingly uncomfortable in their roles. With results spiraling, pressure mounting, and fans losing patience, the board moved decisively to try to salvage what remains of the season. United now face a critical moment as they search for a new manager capable of steadying the ship and restoring belief at Old Trafford. Several names are already being mentioned privately within football circles, though the club is expected to take its time to identify the right candidate, someone who can bring stability, leadership, and a clear footballing identity. The sacking of Ruben Amorim marks yet another chapter in Manchester United's turbulent modern history. As fans react, pundits analyze, and the football world buzzes with speculation, one thing is clear: United's future now hangs on the decisions made in the coming days, decisions that could either reignite hope or plunge the club deeper into crisis.